Karaibrahimgil's first book, Nil'in Kelebekleri. If you open my mind, it is my pomegranates, but my place is narrow. It's an essay criticism book bearing the phrase. It includes 140 selected from the clones she wrote every Monday in Butterfly supplement of Hürriyet newspaper since 2004. I will explain summary of this content. Let's start. 1. Inner voice. If you ask me, life is all about moments. These moments appear and quickly make themselves memories. We can only witness them. The life of the clones is one day. The most beautiful smile meeting stands are the best of for those who says that for one day. Again, we can find the answers by looking at butterflies. They spend their best moments in an effort to make themselves eternal. Mine too is an effort to reproduce with a momentary smile, song or text. Yes, we entered the book to Who is the Whisperer in Me? Inside me that envelopes me with just his voice or she or her voice, his or her voice. Who is that silent voice that comes with me wherever I go? That whispers actual my real voice. It does me good. It makes me good. When I'm angry, I have to shut a lot of not hear his voice. Maybe that's why everyone yells when they are angry. That voice is my soul. He knows all about me. My lungs growing with deep breaths. The back alleys of my brain. He has the most information about me. An angelic friend, maybe some kind of guide. 3. A woman's right to leave her hair. You walk on sidewalk like an advertisement. As you pass through time, you ask him to tell about his condition. It speaks. It is nicked while it is gathered. When jumping for it becomes a ponytail. If you have decided, it will be below dry. If it rains, there will be moisture. He will curl up and sleep on his shoulder. When you want to change your life, it is often the only thing you can change. While walking on the road, the smells come to his nose. They are your forest. That fragrance can open your lungs, open your heart, accelerates your steps. In its most tropical state, on a hot summer day, there was that man who threw his hair back. Either he or someone similar to him would hang a flower for him. She wears ornaments. Your eyes look at ground. This is heaven for me. I have endless respect for other heavens. 4. If I don't want what I don't have, I'm automatically happy. People don't want to watch the match every next day, the result of which they don't know. We don't want it because we don't to have control over events between entering and exiting life. We who do not give up control try to control our future with our imagination while playing life. We think that the hurrah energy we send connects to the veins, from the veins to the brain, to tiny area in this brain, and from that an area to tomorrow. However, the real tomorrow is not at all like today's tomorrow. The reason I quote is to show the impossibility of having mathematical measure of happiness, and in turns asking these questions, can they be as happy as I am? If so, are we talking about the same happiness? When others says I am happy, We also misjudge the past and, most importantly, the future every day. We look to tomorrow from today and build a future with today's feelings. We think the future is something like today. The poor catastrophe cannot see the answers to the question of what will happen tomorrow, because that's the blind spot. Our eyes are looking around, our imagination is looking at time, but it's also dreamless, so weak that you may rest in peace. People think that tomorrow is a little different from today. Yes. 5. Explorer of small things. I read 7 sentences of Hawaiian shamans. Aloha. To love is to be happy with. Kala. There is no limit on anything. Mava. There is only the present. Mana. All power comes from within. Makia. Where attention goes, energy goes there. Pono, whether it is real or not, is determined by its effects. Ike, the way the world comes to you. According to Hawaiian shamans, these 7 words were the meaning of life. 6. Leonardo's crane. It's a word trick. Philosopher, physicist, painter, musicians, niche. How do we think like Da Vinci? On one of those, I wish I could be like him. Heroes on one days, these days, when I was chasing them. Welcome to Curiosity, having an inquisitive attitude towards life, not being able to stop learning even the most ridiculous things without getting tired. Demonstration, passionate about testing what you have learned by trying. A desire to learn by doing it wrong. Leonardo said, experience never makes mistakes. Because the biggest fear is the fear of making mistakes. True. Sensation means polishing the sense like polishing tiles. So how? By taking yourself to beauty. Leonardo's crane lifts with gasoline of the most beautiful shapes, smells, tastes, sounds, and feelings. It's in our crane. All that is beautiful combine and shape us from shape to shape. Stufumato, what is that? Being open to the unknown. Resilience to be dubbed. Don't accept the coolness of the things for which you can't find the answer. Artesienza, balancing between art and science. A place where logic and emotions make play. Peace. Corporalita, being fit to the body as well as the brain. We are going to connection, to the understand that everything is connected. Don't the flapping of a butterfly's wing in Tokyo affects the weather in New York affects. Can be. 7. I gotta shrink this girl again. We didn't have money, but in those years, money couldn't buy happiness. We wouldn't hide our love. We would write it big and big to our deep and spread it to our friends. If we couldn't find a response, we would insist until we did, and we wouldn't go to the psychologists because we were unlovable. As we grew up, our parents, who loved us no matter what we did, remained constant. Everything else changed. A lot of small and big people, a whole children's society are playing games. A game of taking things seriously. Men are warriors, women are domestic, or women are warriors, men are domestic. True, life is a game. Life is a dream, proof below. And it turns out life real is a dream. As described in songs, here's the claim. Life is what you do like a dream. Proof above. My mother Sharmin and I went to Kalkan to shot the video for the Vulture songs in my album. Which album? In Nil'in. Yes, I remember. Vulture, Akbaba song in the album. The idea of the clip is that our daughter, who fell into the desert from without you, is about to die of love. At least she should be fed to the vultures. But what's my review of Akbaba? I don't know. 9. Your Lisa Simpsons. Simpsons. Our Lisa's best is playing the saxophone. This men tell him that one day he will become a great musician. Lisa Simpson is a talent. This talent will carry her wherever she wants, and the world will listen to her music one day. She can't help but fall in love with this man, even sure she doesn't need anyone else in the world but him. 10. Father. Berin said to the baby in her arms, "This is your father." Before that baby turned 1 year old, she managed to repeat a syllable and said that for the first time. Father, I cannot live without you either. I can't carry the weight of worlds without you. Days follow days. A boy was added to the trembling girls, her brothers. The entrance to this walking man who gets off the ferry and enters a building. Her heirs, congratulations, your daughter has won the Bosphorus. If you ask her, she will immediately say that her daughter, whose mind on music graduated from 2000 with such a father, whenever she did, thanks to him, his children, whom he has fed and raised with books, goals, and mother of pearl since a young age, are sugar and milk. 11. A summer tale. Once upon a time there was a country where people who were bored with themselves did the same thing every day. Its name is Earth. The king of his place is outgoing. He is only concerned with the unhappiness of his younger brother, Reminder. When Reminder was asked about the problem, he would say that his problem was caused by outgoing. The mouth of the parrot was very large, from eating and drinking, talking and telling. The rest of big ears to hear the departure go, to listen to the tales, to cut off the winds that push him, walking up the Martin Luther King, and hung a notice on the wall of the always in here statue in the square. The following the written declaration that people of remaining, I would like to address only the people of the country whose king is gone, not as the people of the remaining, but as the people of the remaining. Where does the departure go, leaving us here with ourselves? I call on all of you to find outgoing with me and end your sentence. These people who went to wash themselves in new waters would condemn us to live in stronger soaps in the same waters. We wouldn't be able to go if we stayed. If we didn't go, we wouldn't be able to come back. What happened to them? He mentioned that what he saw hasn't changed much. The port of destination is always lemon. This tale goes back in the beginning and repeat itself. Outgoing are spirits, dead people, reminders is people. Don't understand exactly. Okay, 12. Fears manage people. The sound I heard was the violins rattling with their taut strings. Yes, definitely the torture music of Jaws. I heard Jaws film. Oh, Spielberg, our universal subconscious, deep water is dangerous, don't go. Well, why doesn't this music, which continues to play even in our dreams with the first light of the morning, leave its place a well-known person? Well, why do we swim step to our inflatable jaws in tiny swallow pool? I think the main fears are fears of losing loved ones, fears of being loved, fear of failure, fear of humiliation, fear of loneliness. That boring song with the same lyrics all the time. Oh, you'll not love, don't go, don't do it, you will lose, don't tell me, let it stay inside. Of course you will forget in time. The blunder. The sad part is that most these fears are unfounded. Say what they were afraid of kick my jaws in that nose. It's real. If you hit a jaw's nose, they goes. The Aristotle says, a life not true about isn't worth living. Not worth it, I think. 13. Blood, tincture, tears, and bark. I want to be like that boy in the garden, running without fear of falling while running. The one who quickly forget the blood tincture dyed out tear, shelf, square that is experience the thoughts and run even faster the next day. Who does not keep his faults and ingenuity to himself, who want nothing more than a simple loving routine, the one who always asks why, as a joke. In fact, the one who is already willing to do something for no reason, like a child, yes. Madonna de Paris. Madonna was the biggest thing of my childhood, with posters on my walls and songs like A Mystery, Everyone Must Stand Alone, in my ears. It was always new. She was always brave. Disturbing mothers and fathers was a signal sent to conquer children ready to rebellion. She was hit by the wall at the beginning of the role, but stood firm. How many people can be stained by hearing these words hundreds of times and renewing at their beliefs in themselves? You're not beautiful. You have no voice. You can't even dance. There's nothing special about you. And who can say this sentence and achieve it when she has a lifetime? I want the whole world to know Madonna. It's her says. They memorized my name just like they memorized Shash. Ah, Shash. I think the source of Madonna's strength is that she keeps herself open to being influenced by everything, absorbing moisture from everything and raining it back on us. I've never seen someone who takes all life to such nonsense, chew balloons and pops them face. Oh, true. In my contents, it was a lot of emotions in here. I just take the poetry. In India, in Istanbul, there and here, even if I mixed it once in a while. Even if I never opened the cover, biography, or science fiction. Although, I don't know, these are inside me always. Yes or no, 16. I realized that we can divide everyone into yes and no. When they say yes, they are optimistic enough to think that they will go to Alice Wonderland, through the door that opens. They're pessimistic enough to think that what they approve when they say yes will get them into trouble. If they don't, those who say yes to their problems become king of spiritual realm. Whatever their methods, they accepted the situation. The benefactors, a bit ignorant and cold, they don't like getting wet, cold traffic all months. After the doors closes when they say no, their fireplaces flare up inside. This is good bears of them. Is it really? For them, the answer is no. Is elevator that takes you up the hills. Everything they disapprove of begs them even more with rising voices, staring behind the turning ridges. Their thoughts are always the same. There is no good in everything. Me. My answers are mostly maybe. Whoever asks the question maybe neither sees Alice Wonderland nor lights the fireplace. So what is the conclusion for this article? Just saying yes to something innatates our innumerable and universal affirmation. As a result, from all the yes stones that fall like dominoes, the following inscription reads, I approve of this life given to me. In other words, if you say yes, the most of the questions, no to some and maybe none of them. You'll get a smiley faces when you put them boxed together. Breakfast with family. 17. I heard somewhere that the reason everyone loves their mother's food the most is because it's cooked with love. True. Let the advice be given. The one to be ignorant and let the stories of the week spill on the table, right next to the olives. Let my father says good luck for one little thing. She reminds her past, yes. A family breakfast should never be neglected. It should not be forgotten. Its values should always be known. Yes. 18. Do you have a courage to fall in love with life? In time, you met time and admitted you used the picking of footsteps and you made a routine for yourself in which you find peace. Well, what would you say to that? When you were little, you wanted to grow right away. As you grew up, you wanted to get smaller and smaller because you missed your relationships with life. You missed your sweet months. You missed your honeymoon. From where do you bring something bad of your mind? By holding your hands. Don't you know it's like you're doing this? 19. What if your lovers erase you from memory? If you deleted him too, would you fall in love with him again when you met him again? Incredible story. Lying on a bed with cable in her head. In her head takes Clementine by the hand that takes her to unforgettable childhood memories, so that she won't lose her Clementine when she wakes up. This is a film. What is the film? Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. The happiest place is next to each other. The most unhappy place is far from each other. Love is simple, very simple, too sweet, too bitter. The only power of a lost love that leaves you helpless like a cat by the neck is the memory. There are spots on your brain that belong to him or her. Another girl, another guy can pick them up. Won't explain a long summary of Eternal Sunshine of Spotless Mind. I'll explain in Halsey's video. Manic. Yes, I explained in Manic video. I'll pass quickly. 20. Life is like a coloring book. Yes. Everyone paint is different. It's the genetic part. For example, I throw a paint in pastels. It's such and such colors. Yours is dry pencil. Is the gouache paint. Even if you paint the same rabbits, why wouldn't it look very different? That's why those who seem to be experiencing the same thing, aren't they actually experiencing different things? Nobody should be angry with anybody. Nobody should think that their view is the same as someone else's. True. I like it. 21. Rainy blues day. Everything flows at once. When the sun comes up, something comes to mind that I will finally forget. I feel like writing it down somewhere. The sentence that say, why I don't write more reminds itself. 22. Istanbul, which is Turkey's most crowded city, surprises the dedication scale of everyone. They said, Istanbul, the stone is gold. That's an old saying, like New York of America. Everyone has project in here. This place is tiring. If there's a Wendy, it will tire you out. You can hit 12 in Istanbul. But be careful. Your nose grows, your legs quicken, your guise is hidden. There are 2 bridges. Both are congas most of the time. 23. A half of glass is dim. If the life of the half empty people is empty, will the half full people live to the fullest? Let's pour the water at the bottom of the glass and listen to the walls of the soul. Why is the glass empty? If someone who's very thirsty drinks from the glass. If the glass of hope is half empty and asked, he will say, it's still half full. Those who don't have an appetite in life will hardly drink half past. They drink as if they are giving back the water to the glass like a child who has taken an appetite pill. Even my sip is mouthful to them. The places drinks are empty. If you're filling the glass with water, just fill it up. It's half empty. This is the case of the people at the beginning of life, at the beginning of the road, at the beginning of the water, at the beginning of the work, at the beginning of their work. If it's full, there's still plenty of room to fill. No matter how much you fill, it's empty. Depends of your point of view. I like this question. For me, half is empty. Always. 24. Jaren and the kangaroo. We met at Bosphorus University any day. She asked if you were free and sat next to me in the class that day. And she never left my side again. My best friend, Jaren. I have to tell a story. They showed an Australian native an animal and asked what it was. In response, they said the word, I don't know what you're talking about in your own language, kangaroo. And that animal's name was kangaroo. It was my kangaroo. She was my kangaroo. I didn't know either. Heart. At heart. What is that? It's a cliche. It's said. Life's stage. Life's game. Sometimes even call them masquerade balls. I don't like at all. As I opened the window and aired myself this morning, I thought I would turn it around. I saw a scene. There was 2 judges and and my aunt living in my inner neighborhood. Inner. One of the judges are called heart, the other is head, mind, or one lives by feeling things of the other. Someone is clumsy, it's smashed around. One is cautious, each step careful. These two judges were children when I was a child. They were not the judges, they were friends. They would slide down the slide together, swing each other on swing. Life lady was the only judge at the time. Whenever she said was done, I told you there is another aunt. An aunt conscience. She wasn't even born yet. Aunt Conscience has an accounted twin. She just sit at home. Naturally wasn't there then. As I got older, these two started to argue about right and wrong about everything. They won the faculty of love with the first place, but they were never friends again. One takes the same case, the other, someone at the table, life imprisonment. The other hits the table and is released on bail. Both are honest. Bribery doesn't work. Heart breaks at such an offer. The head is suspicious and doesn't accept it. They're both young. Two of these are, you guessed it, a bit old. It's kind of innate. Someone knew, someone felt. It's as if they were not born into life. Life was born into them. Both try to eliminate each other at various times for some cause, but it has a flaw. It's invisible, neither die. It's like they're both vampires. They like the night. It doesn't like mirrors. The blood is getting more and more nourished, but I must admit that some issues were already resolved with heartless and some with headless. If one had gone far enough east and had gone far enough north, may things wouldn't still have been resolved. What did I say? They are two old people since their hatred is not born of love or anything. We need an aunt to help them. Hear that aunt conscience. There goes the both of them. At night, the accountant sits at the fireplace with his twin. She talks. He talks and talks. She gets angry at both. This aunt conscience twins takes care of the accounting affairs of these two judges. Actually, he doesn't understand the calculus book, not the numbers, with the attitude. He has a system similar to the multiplication table he called with values. Fake calculates everything accordingly. Of course, Aunt Conscience whispers to her what they will want. Okay, it's once I like it. I like the description of her own inner judging for herself. 26. Love game. Look now, the game is very simple. You're you, but I think you're my father. Me too, but I always think of myself as a mother. While I expect you to act like my father, I unconsciously treat you like my mother. This is my part. You think of your father and you think that I'm your mother. That's why you're father to me and expect me treat you like your mother. To summarize, I'm your mother, you're your father. I'm also my mother. You're my father. What happened in here? Have I become a mother of two? Need to change. We are changing. Okay, how do we solve this two mothers? Two father model. Let's choose. And they said love is something incomprehensible. Repent. Okay. Repent. 27. Come, the weather is fine. They're lined up as autumn, winter, spring, summer. In the end, they made me look like them. It's autumn, it's winter, it's spring, it's summer. No wonder it always happens. 28. Everything will change. Are you there or not? The only consensus is change. Heraclitus 6 before Christ. Ancient Greek. But you say you know that. You don't want anything to change. That's not how. 21 Anno Domini Istanbul. Nil. It's everything will change. Are you there or not? I think we were asked before we came to life. I think we said yes. And I think we forgot. Just like we forget the umbilical cord and 9 months we spent in the wombs. Changing everything at the same time is very tiring. What if only one thing changed at once? If it's possible, you're constant, it is changed. What? Has my girlfriend changed? In what direction has it changed? In other words, if it's in the positive sense, positive for me, of course it should change. There will be change. Her hair may change or something. But let there be no change in this feeling and thoughts towards me. If my soul changes, my body doesn't change. Everyone thinks like that. I'm willing to be a bad person. Your life is fixed. You have changed. Okay, I'm in for it. I'll change back. But since I built this life so far, I must know something, right? I will convince myself of that. But if you say no, you will change. Then you need to give me some energy of desire to align my life with myself. Throw, sprint, throw. Let's not be afraid, ladies and gentlemen, whatever will be. If we're being eternal sprints, it means we are out of this seriousness. 30. Nil's elocution to the youth, like an important person, Atatürk, or the founder of Turkey, Atatürk, has such a discourse like that, elocution, or, oh my youth, your first duty is to remove Sisyphus in mythology from being a myth and to accept him as the truth. Just like Sisyphus, punished by the gods, you will not get tired of carrying the stone that falls to the bottom when you carry it to the top. What is the Sisyphus story? I don't know. As I said, life is made up of mountains and stones. All birth and death will pass in this day, all in the present. So if you're going to get tired of today, here is the power of joy. Joy turns scything and puffing into blowing. Joy is the contagious and dirt remover. A joyful Sisyphus humiliates the gods. Oh my youth, what will protect you from decay? To care like Sisyphus is always be made up of something. To be historical today and cheerful. To rest is troubles. What is Sisyphus? Sisyphus is a king of the Greek mythology, the underworld, who was commanded to roll a huge boulder to the highest point of this hill forever. Traditionally associated with the word sophos, wise, but this association contains some etymological problems. Ilos' son, Sisyphus, king of Corinth, tells the god river, Sophos, that his daughter Elgina has been kidnapped by Zeus. And in return for betraying Zeus, he causes a sprint to follow his castle. Remove Sistus in mythology. You will not get tired of carrying the stone. 13:1. My grandfather died. I saw it. The first loss, when it was buried, I realized that it's the shame not to appreciate it while living. I wandered around here for exactly 18 years. To summarize, nothing in life should be prolonged. Think about it. The travel of a long, narrow road that carries up hands, heart, stomach, head, back, and surrounding while walking towards his death every day, stands cramped at the end of the road. What the said finals shut. However, when you look at my grandfather, one says how beautiful it is to come to death naked, to give whatever you have along the way. I read somewhere that there is a reason why exhalation takes longer than inhalation. My grandfather gave everything to friends. At the end of the road, he couldn't get in even with a penny. Give what is in your heart like my grandfather. Give your love, understanding, forgiveness, making happy, kindness, laughing, briefly everything that makes your heart beat. Just give it the beat, that beat in you. Everybody dances. My grandfather greeted everyone with his fedora hat. My grandfather has a big project, Uzunşehir. The idea of the Turkey like this, it takes a long time to explain. He was actually going to tell Ecevit, this is who politics man in Turkey for a long time. But there is nothing he didn't tell along the way. He knows the rakı glass as well as those on the bus. He forgot Uzunşehir when he left. We remember. 13:2. Should we keep Botox? After 40, you inject the venom of the snake into yourself. Put Botox in your wound. On one of hand, at night, you say the vain prayer, Lord, don't make me cringe. Approach to the ground, drooping and crumbling. I always nervous, always fresh. Episode 1. Failed nose surgery. You think you're a clay sculpture, and you say if you make a protrusion in the middle of the face, smaller and rounder, I'll get closer Barbie. Episode 2. Anti-aging, antidepressant. My body crumbles when my soul is tense. Like I said, life is fascinating. It's impossible not to get injured while dragging or not to get wrinkles that we can call abrasion. Line the cutlery marks on the plates on which food is eaten are fate. But enough. If nature doesn't help, it will Botox. Episode 3. Inflated the autopilot. You activated every young version of yourself by injecting Botox. Age by age, getting more Botox. Episode 4. Drop the snake, hug the fish. You have to have a child before the age of 1 and after the age of 1. If possible, you should also make a carrier. Sorry, this is how it is. In case, choose. Let me freeze myself. A. Let me throw when a solution is found. B. Let me freeze my eggs and my carrier. Some women do that. C, I'll do Botox. I'll have children. I'll go around thinking about a career. D, as with every question, the answer is a question. But if you want an elegant answer, of course, C. A political girl, 13, 3. In one of my politics classes at Bosphorus University, there was a silence inside me as I listened to who clung to which ideology and to whom. Because I think like Virginia Woolf, I think war is about men. Females need a status quo to breed and raise our offspring, to reign in the game of who is also greatest of men. So for them, the world's puzzle, a matchbox, a millionaire, a FIFA. For us, it's about maximum Tetris. Anywhere in the world, a woman can put napkin under the dripping glass, strictly to the man next to her. It's a skill. It's even political. Women know that fighting is stupid. Brute force is not force. He's just rude. And if I deal with something other than myself, which is also a choice, I would still be interested in Virginia Woolf was interested. She said a woman needs money and room, her own, to write, to place where a political is our politics in that room. Every battle must be fought to forget it. Every battle must be fought to get it. That girl is now a superhero. That room is now the whole world. Gather all the girls. Gather all the girls. Bütün kızlar toplandık. Song from Nil again. It's nice to inject ideas of her songs. Okay, life artists. The hunger artists from Kafka, life artists in here. You don't have to sign, paint, or be an actor, or be an artist of life. Just pretend that there's a melody, a color, a script in this uncertain morning and evening chase. But a life as an artist, life like art, repeats life. Treat your life as if it were a work of art and work on the masterpiece. There are such people, the weavers of life. As you know, the first choice of professional physics and mental health department, life artistry, which is less preferred department, is entering through a special talent exam. If you have sized money, fame, beauty, and power, you know that are empty inside. No, if you have ever mentioned them, you will be amazed by those who walk around with those big boxes. The legacy you left behind will rise and go. The art of life is based on not fiction. This consciently painted picture. It's about looking at everything, even every idea with an for now eye. I don't know exactly what it's about. I'm searching too. Okay, 13.5. I said, can't talk to everyone. Words come and settle into empty draws. Unless you experience a radical picking up and living scene, those sentences will always stay there. I'll be at them hung on the side of your head. For example, the Mexican saying, money only buys cheap things. I bought them. It's also true that I'm trying to be my own ancestor. There were times I preferred such abstract conversation to concrete examples. Sometimes it's good to let those who understand what they understand. If every has an explanation, we can make it up. even if cannot make it up. We cannot both sleeps and sleeps, as Darwin said. Like evolution theory. Okay, 13.6. Our three states. Life out of balance, life in transition, life in war in Turkish. Hindu, I couldn't read it. Koyonashi, Koyonikachi, Pavakachi, and Nogakachi. Okay. I lost my balance, Kogonachi. Lauryn Hill says at her unplugged concert, the newspaper wrote that I was emotionally unstable, which is true, aren't we all? As you know, our main profession is stripteasism. We are the business of carrying the tea from the kitchen, from the living room, without spilling it, from you to me without breaking the heart, from one place to another without breaking the nerve. If we are left on the grass, we pass to Popakachi. If we are thrown into the toilet, we pass to Nakoyachi. Yes, we are the very passive. Now do you think of paper as destiny, choice, or good? Powakachi. Some says that life itself is a transitional period. It could be, seems like a parade to me. So I include myself in the show. We didn't have balance in our previous state. We struggle in this. As soon as we walk, we run to war, fighting Nakayachi. Third state, few fight, nobody wins. This is the game over. Game without winning. Far fewer people level up in the fight themselves. Okay, he knows that war is all about fighting. Okay. 13.7. I was preparing for greater suffering. This is Turkish classic. I haven't read about it. Maybe from the name or because a coincidence with the years of I was anti-promotion. In those years, nothing advertised by adults is done. But I knew how to steal Dostoevsky's idiom from the library. I didn't read this book, just the answer in the test options. I didn't read the but parts and have autopsies done in a exam in Turkey. I never knew that I would regret not reading it until today. Turns out I was going to run into my favorite Turkish writer at the gas station. The caution marks above the taken from Peyami Sefa's books, 9. Harice Koğuşu, published by Alkan Publishing. Okay. If you want, you read. 13.8. Balcony. The petite way to kick yourself out. The petite way to kick yourself out. That balcony burns like the outward facing fireplace of the establishment. It brings you to my mind the following words: family, breakfast, summer, peace. It takes all the other words after me, then it comes back and leaves the loneliness as well. I take cover for life from here, aim from here, call out the people inside me from this balcony. I became like Eva Perón on this balcony. I made an Argentina cry when I was half that tall, but I can only do that on this balcony. Okay. 13.9. The the state of life. What makes the present moment meaningful is what I see is going to next. Air is the element that swallows. What we want comes true. Finally, we become free. We become that painting in our dreams. We say air. What the opposites? We clean someone. We say air. We succeed. We applaud. We say air again. So what will happen now? Isn't it always something new? Today's populism. 40. Quantum prayer. Give me a sign. 40. Quantum prayer. Dear brain, I learned today that you are responsible for everything that we fell in love with because of my heart, gas because of my stomach, and coal fire because of my liver was burning. Okay. Here is when your eye make you think. The lights are on in those street lamp and houses. That my love street. For example, I don't know first. You can met. It's love. The lights of gentlemen are on. Then this and this is needed for love. This is not necessary. And they all light up by one by one. I've noticed that sometimes I and you tend to drive these streets to the dead end. We can fly away, believing that the world is chaos, but it wasn't that simple. Believe me, I couldn't find this drug dealer mannerism for someone I think is smart like you. Stop telling me general things about me. Okay. Why is quantum? Just science. Okay. 41. Who is the guest? I'm the main guest. Let's take a sip of tea from our most beautiful glasses and cover our living room with ourselves. Let's move our salon. This will automatically reduce this unfair value we give to others' life. Bring it room temperature. Our house, your life has hosted us. Let's not forget it's just living room. She wrote it because Turkey prides itself on its hospitality. It used to be, of course, people used to close the halls for guests only. This is real thing. 42. Insider dialogues. Hello, Sherman lady. We would like Neil lady to visit our prison and sing with her guitar if possible. Prison director. Miss Neil, you seem to be uneasy, but this place is like girls' hostels. There are people like you and me, like out of there. What happened to these people could happen to any of us. True. Everyone has a criminal in them. My wife or daughter may also be here tomorrow. Life is uncertain. Tell me, my guard, will I sleep a lot if she can't sin? Nothing will happen to that person. No one can shut up someone who taken herself and her life so slightly when appreciate music, song, dance, words sincerely. Two people together. It fixes everyone from where they're most guilty to where they're most innocent. Okay, 43. Everything will perish soon. Like commercials. The man went to cliffs on very cold day. He made an S out of increase on step rock just opposite the shore where the sun would rise. We can say that he made a sculpture on that rock by adding the skeletons to each other. But nature would destroy everything. The sun has risen. He was always born. The ice melts. What the man did was burned, finished, turned ashes into ashes. The man went to seashore, making something like Eskimo huts. But nature would destroy everything again. The man collected hundreds leaves, and that would leave him in a creek, in the river. The man was doing it out of spite. His air was white. His hair was white, but his eyes were still blue. He was a child. He was playing with time. Couldn't even bear to watch DVD of this guy named Andy Goldworth. Rivers and tides, working with time, broke the tickling of inner clock. What is this DVD? We can search a documentary. Okay. Best documentary. San Francisco Film Critics Circle. Okay. Documentary. Andy devoted his life to doing things that nature would soon spoil with great care and beauty. Sitting on deep slab, playing games, he does something supernatural for a few hours and drives nature crazy. Nature is dying to do something like he likes when he does it without putting an end to it. Oh, it is deep, but nature would destroy everything. Oh, I'm impressed. 44. The only word we need to learn for now. It was said in the movie that hearts change. I'm not saying that. We'll discuss it another time. Sentence such as I'm listening to the music, reading book, dressing like this should definitely start with our magical words for now. My advice to keep yourself hydrated and put the word for now in the old drawers. You always smell fresh. Okay, my routine, 45. I couldn't understand in minute 2. Meaningless. But this is my anti-routine war. The one who walk there every day should sleep in bed at 10 o'clock. It should surprise my routine, your routine. The routine is good, but when you break it, you get an aroma. So don't ask it. Okay. 46. The 3 greatest glue: blood, imagination, and love. If he can't snap it with the snap of others, he'll get cold. He cannot live longer. This makes it extremely romantic. In fact, nothing that cannot be divided by 2, 3, or 5 can increase us. With every single victory is defeated to us. First adhesive. First glue, blood. Not blood in war. Blood in peace. Blood ties. Families, relatives. These snaps boil when snapped. They won't come off if you rip off skin off. They loved you long before you were. They find you beautiful when you stand upright and when you bend over. Second glue, imagination. The biggest example that comes to my mind is Atatürk. publisher of Turkey. Once again, I saw how, with the imagination of a single person, millions of people were glued together. He snapped them to himself in his imagination and met a net. Third glue, a love. Snap that hurts when snapping. Snap, snaps. If we look at lovers' hormonal chemistry, blindness, and spiritual muscle strength as measured by nothing he won't do for love, we'll faint it. He's the most magnificent of servitude, conversion, and submission. 14.7. Those beautiful things one after a time. But here's the trick. You have to do these things like pleasure seeker who don't expect anything. Extraordinarily beautiful things happen to those who collect beautiful little things. Life like women falls in love with those who take long foreplay. True. 48. Life isn't always about going somewhere, Ayşe. She wants a game. She'll close the roads, so you'll do something you have never done and go out on the street. He wants a game. He'll close the roads, so you'll do something you've never done and go out on the street. He will hit you with a ball. You will make a man out of him. You will try to leave footprints on touched place. He will be tickled. A game that goes like this. I want to go somewhere this morning, like every morning. Okay. 49. Neil selling her Ferrari. I'll hang it like Martin Luther King on my dorm of my church. Better to regret doing something than regret not doing it. The rear view mirror is the way of your left. The front window is the way to go. There is no such thing as now, all at the same time. You will either come back or you won't. Where does the road come from? Where does this road go? If the road is empty, pass. If the road is full, wait. Now. It's all about your move. Open the door to anything that shows you something you've not seen, announcing something you haven't heard, something that makes you taste in something, etc. Only things expand its borders, because this is the greatest conquest. The greatest conqueror is the one of who opens his door to them the most. You have to be very fast. In 2 seconds, 1,001 thoughts flow from many other faucets. Take a drop before them in your palm. It is your liquid state. A you without additives flowing through your as much as tear. Just swallow it. Listen to what he says. Yes, 50. Who does not happen in life? For those with stone bellies. I discovered this while exercising. If life is a matter of balance, the punchline will be strong. Because it's the same place that keeps us in balance. They take the power from where you are guilty. When people work on their weaknesses, they don't get punched, they don't eat. If they do, they do. What does it mean to work of your weaknesses? Let me explain step by step. Step 1, find the place where the punch come from. We all have plenty of them. Step 2, work your abs. by thinking and breathing. Try to increase the defenses and reduce the excesses. Step 3. Stay balanced. You will stand in 3 position or warrior position. Anyone who has come this far knows this is not a choice. This is gene. And this is Zen. The important thing is heed the advice, Aristotle. It's necessary to find balance in life. My blood, still my body. Okay. 51. Loving the one who doesn't love you. It's a very bad situation. Very, very bad. Valentine's Day. Something day isn't important. What do we do about it? From now on, the day of loving the one who doesn't love you will be celebrated on February 13. Everyone should buy a gift for someone they're pretty sure they don't like. I don't like myself either. This is something I achieve very easily, so I can't brag about doing it. I don't like people who are happy with themselves. Me too. They don't keep dragging life by its skirts. They stay well where they are. Every person should see the truth and sincerely in those who don't love themselves. If you have read this far, I obviously love me. You obviously love me. True. If you don't like it, I can love you. 52. Female oddities for beginners. Women very rarely mean what they say. For this reason, a result relationship isn't established. Take, for example, a frequently used phrase, I want to be alone. You don't want to be alone. There is a phrase called spoiling. If you're saying it to a woman, it means a married woman fulfilling her duty to her husband. If you tell the man, it means to deceive, cheat. 53. For those who don't know that life is a trip. We are all the chauffeurs of Miss Kader and Mr. Kısmet. Mr. Kader and Mrs. Kısmet. There are various tour programs, solo travelers, single travelers with someone, those who travel crammed by carrying everything, me. Those who live in everything they wander freely. We go up and down, guys. We go up and down, guys. Okay. Hatchback, sedan, convertible, couple, all-wheel drive. Sometimes ugly, dirty, dark, dangerous neighborhoods. Sometimes parks, garden, picnic places. Something there is fog. The road shakes. Sometimes the water floods. Sometimes heavenly views. Maybe that's why heaven and hell are here. Okay, trip. 54. The other is different. The things that separate us from each other literally separate us. For example, when we say, I don't agree with you, when we say, I don't think so, I like it when everyone else loves it. We would be taking a step back from each other. You can get up to dance, you stand up. I know my own. And I'm struggling to open those channels. I do root canal treatment for my rotten teeth. Teeth. Because I found homogeneous people boring. Transfigured people are fun. They are real. Others are clones. 55. Whoever is beautiful is stupid. Whoever's success is lucky. Whoever has money is a thief. I'm thinking like that. They go through this 3 times and relax. They harass these mortals who prevent them from living unaware of their own lack, incompetence, and laziness. Their beauties of life don't think that it can reward the talented with success, the hardworking with money. They won't because life can't be that unfair. Me. Gracelands are haram, sin. When they are so barren, it is to be plundered. They believe in fairy tales, otherwise they are intolerable. Me. Anyone who can think a little abstractly knows that life is a game that can be scored with practice, dribbles, and appreciate positions. If he doesn't know, he's not already in the game. If he is not in the game, he is not alive. He who doesn't step on grass knows neither the soil, nor the green, nor the rain. We all sometimes call people a torpedoed, incompetent, who has stepped in for us. Instead of witnessing the justice of life, we become both criminal and powerful. I didn't see any benefit from ignoring them. Those who ignore it become blind. It's learn not to drown in excesses. 56. Mother's Day. Years are as much as bowl of water we poured while we were practicing yesterday from the balcony. First they don't pass, then they pass. I know that for women, define the year's the biggest challenge, and you, mom, are the Botox-free, nail-free hero of this war. Mom, I'm sorry for every time I hurt you until now. It was easiest to break you, that's why I did it. It's because I announce every word that comes to the tip of my tongue to you. You know when a person gets angry, they throw as the first thing they can get his hands on, or something like that, because you are always closest. You are guilty of everything and strong of everything. It's part of your destiny. True. 57. Let the painfuls read. Me. They are doing a study called real-time neuroimaging study. They said that the needle you see will put an end to our pain and inject a mixture of salt water into salt in the bodies for 14 patients. Results: all of their pain is relieved. The brain falls prey to perception, not reality, as it's written in all those books. Their main aim is prove that it's the perception of I'm in pain that cause pain the most. This isn't real, isn't it? 58. People sulking, all things and silence. Why are they more valuable? The mystery in the pots is the weight of life that pulls their lips down, as if the pain and suffering of life is gravity. What about absolute things? absolute things. How about standing on the roof like wine? To prove your age, while resisting time is clapping, why not celebrate being caught up in time and swim in it? The feeling of silence in me is dusty. However, the sound of the old May accompanied. It plays at both houses. It was dried between the page of Ahmet Hamdi Tanpınar's novels. Okay, 59. I'm feeling like Tales story. I'm feeling like a bee in hives of honey. But for honey bears and humans, let it be. I'm the one of who is put on the flowers. Pollyanna. I feel like a butterfly. If someone grabbed me by my two wings, I can fly again. Since I already know that I will live one day, I'm not surprised by the flowers. Okay, 60. We have 20 articles left for this. I shuddered when I heard someone say this to someone in their middle 40s, and I feel in a hurry. Quickly, I began to pack the most tropical suitcase to abandon the wasteful life I was living. From now on, I'm going to throw as many strokes as I can, because all those words that take me among them make me cry, and I appreciate anything that can make me cry, since I have 20 summers left. I know the value of those 20 summers. I lighten the suitcase. Articles. Okay. Fantasy series. Heroes without special powers. I admire them. Some things just take the shape of their habitats that linger in it. Like sardine finds out if it's water, or a wing if it's air, like evolution. Coincidence protect people without being noticed, like not believing in coincidence. I love species that are far from this life. Be it Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Mirror Mask, let it be enough. Don't let me forget the existence of magic and big things. Everything is normal without extraordinary things. I think that's why Pirates of Caribbean is watched by a million people. It's an easy come across things that contain both miracles and aphorism. 62. The Forgottens. Don't forget. We have 12 summers left for this. 62. The Forgotten. Don't forget the Forgotters. It is called eraser torture when someone you have in mind that does this to your soul. It's also said that time heals every pain. In this case, forgetting and not forgetting is a problem of memory. To solve these hard affairs quickly, everyone shown blindly where exactly is wounded in his soul and heart. Take the paper in front of you and write. So collecting these eraser tortures and heartbreaks together on a sheet paper is the first step to crumbling them up. Then fold the paper, give it to the heartbreakers if you dare, or crumble it up. The best thing to heart is to forgive. Let's get up from the heart. They are those who carry a heavy load. Okay. 63. Thus spoke Dreamwalker, like Nietzsche. Every woman has an ideal Hollywood husband. Mine is a family man between Mark Ruffalo and Adam Sandler. I'm not word master, but Muratam Mungan said it correctly. He who has a weapon of words should never use it. It can cripple a person for a lifetime. I went and bought a book. They said, "Woman, get in touch with the spiritual power of the feminine on it." I wouldn't have read Osho or anything, but I didn't. I didn't agree with the most of what I read in the first 10 pages, and I didn't love this narration, but I would read. And even that was beautiful. I was dreamwalker wandering everywhere. It was good, it was beautiful. Even if I woke a person up today, if it was worth it. 64. Clouds gathered on my eyebrows. It's like I'm gonna cry. For 10 minutes, we put our heaviest thoughts on every passing car. We uploaded it because 10 minutes ago, Mazhar Abi, who is singer in Turkey, told us that we don't understand how time flies. So the clock would always be quarter past today, and it would be 5 o'clock tomorrow. At this time, no one could plan. But he won't understand what I'm talking about, because at the age, people don't look at the clock, fathers or anything. Anyway, when the quickly turns 26, I read this article. I didn't happen right away when he was 13.6. Time passing quickly. 65. There's one, there is another. Two fish lived in Russian village. One is orange and big. The other one is covered and slim. We talked this story in a song. Pity. I remember in which album? Tek taşıma kendim aldım. Perry song. We discussed this story actually. 66. I think there is no way from mind to heart. People hate each other. When you're on the ice flow or realist man, this is it. It's in such a deep layer that we cannot see it with the naked eye. Think of it like the bottom layer of skin. This is the bottom layer of the soul. Say there is no progress in life. Life isn't going well. A change, yes. Quickly, yes. We just removed the word healing. It's too heavy to lift it. But I'm removing it too. I do not know why. These books say otherwise. I always look at myself in times of crisis. Let's get to know Miss Neil. I'm talking about your little bit. If you remember these 3 things and tell your 3 friends, it will multiply geometry. Okay, what is the 3 things? Okay, 67. A Nile prayer. A Nil pray. A Nil pray. Good health. Get together with loved ones. Whatever he has, let it be someone to share. If you don't have anything, get someone to find it and bring it back. Let it make you laugh with one move and cry with another. May all the feelings be there. Let this heart surrender to it. Let all the song describe it. Don't forget that this is the real name of success. Let him keep doing this as if we were praying. Let him keep doing it as if he were praying, as if he was celebrating this discovery every day. Change what they want to then change. Let him renovate inside and out, for better and for worse. Let him throw away the old ones. Let his soul breathe. Make a dream come true. Close your eyes to a dream. You run after him and scoop him up. Don't keep your dream from yourself. Don't forget that you're in a cartoon. Anything is possible. 68. Today and after. A little bit yesterday. Calendar pages were flying into the wind of time. It was too real to be poetic. He did it full tour and said, "We January 1st. It was time to reset ourselves. We would make peace. If we were defeated, we would fight. A fat balloon named Hope would lift us up from under our ribcage, sweep us off our feet. The world was going crazy with us. The years started with 2. He became cranky like a child who had a terrible 2-year-old syndrome. That's how we raised it. I got up. The polar ice caps melted, and the polar bears fell into the water. It didn't snow again. Summers got very hot. When the world became intimate, you couldn't remain insensitive to the pain of others. If you weren't sharing it with people you didn't know, you were being blamed. You were being kicked out of capitalism. That was good. Hearts seemed to have softened. You listened to the song you wanted to 2 minutes. It made you both undervalued and valuable. Now your new war would be between these two. Big change. The thing that quickly wears off your current perspective. Small change. It's what holding you back, so don't get dizzy at the spread. That will not change. What you hold and forget your hold. It's still nice to be on January 1st. 69. They call me feminist. Let me say I can't change. Even if they divide women into women-loving and men-loving, one day I will join men-loving women. But if says I don't admire women who have become emperors like Madonna just because they did it, I'm a liar. In this context, I would say yes, a woman must be strong. What do I really mean when I gather all these girls, have children and careers, and have their solitaire removed in her song? She talked about on song. Sezen Aksu once said that people understand what they meant as songs long after they have been written. Maybe my coin will drop late too. It's about song. The fact that they're pointy, that some people get on their nerves, shows that they are healthy. But I don't want the burden man. In a world where women dominate everything from the bottom up, I think we're the ones to be afraid of. Men say what they're going to say. That's why when I do business, I prefer men. They both conquer for a long time and go to the result without much tinkering. That's true. I know 2 lobes of my brain are connected by 3 times as many wires as men's. Lots of wires, but few clear vision. It's really important for me because I don't know that women's thinking. It's nice to see that point of view from a woman. But even if you hand the flow, the Nil genetic program, sit down, cook, take care of children pluck, I will give an error. I say times I've changed. Men do what women say. When you want to call a man who is your friend somewhere, you call his girlfriend or wife because he's the one who will decide. I don't open my arms to women easily. They must know something. I don't want to know. They don't want me to know. It's different thinking point of view, women and men. It's different, but it's nice to see the way of thinking from women.